Alright, back again. We are finished with our driver pin. So we got T-pin 1, whatever you want to call that. 2. It was going to be a double spool, but we kind of switched to a spool with a barrel and then a big serration in the middle. And then we got our standard on 4. That's going to be a very high setting. No lift pin, but not really. It might be a lift a tiny bit. And then we got our pin and pin in the back, and that's going to be a high lift. That's the top. I haven't done the key yet, but this one's going to stay the same. Alright, now on to the key pins, and I'm not going to do much with them. I've got serration. I got, with the no lift pin, I put a little catch there if they overset it. But besides that, not too much. So those won't take long, and I'll have those in just a little bit. Alright, so first key pin done with. I ran it off the bottom a little bit, and I put a little serration in the top. I don't think it'll do much because of how high this pin has to get put on there, but I put it on there just in case. Alright, so on to, let's say 4, and that one will need a good bit. So one's a high, I'm going to do a fairly low 4th pin, make it hard to get around it. So that's my plan next. Let's get into it. So my plan is to cut this pin down low, cut this key, and then from there I will make the pin match it, since I don't have any king links for these. So I'm going to cut the key the way I want it on 4, and then make a pin that matches it in the core, and then we'll just go from there. Alright, so I just made, I cut, if I can grab the key, I cut the key. I cut some of the notches out of the top to make the deep cut next to the high cut a little smoother when the key goes through. I didn't change pin 5, so pin 4 I just made deep, and this is how it sits in the chamber. Not a pin, no touch pin. It might be just you going through, but I like to leave it a little less than a no touch. No, I'm losing that word. But I like to leave a little gap there, because if it's a no touch pin, then you learn that as you're picking it, then you just avoid that pin. But with this, you have to push it a little bit, which will give it a little bit more of a chance to get caught up. Now let me see if I can take this pin out like this. Alright, so it's going to sit there like that, oblong shape with the tiny little disc at the top. So that'll sit there, just a standard pin, because that pin doesn't really get used much of anything, so anything I did to it wouldn't have affected it anyway. But it'll be a nice. So those two down. These three, I kind of liked the progressively going down. I would rather it be progressively going up, but it is what it is. I get the key I work with because I didn't buy a blank. I just kind of looked at the store and saw which ones had more of a higher bidding where I could change ones to go down. But I can't get like 3 to go up like I wanted. So it is what it is. So 3 is going to have to stay a medium length. So I actually switched it out since I saw that. I put the T-pin on the medium length one because the T-pin will still affect it. And I moved my random shape over one, which will make it go through a little bit more of this. Alright, so onto this one. I'm not doing much to this here pin. I'm just going to get the right height on it, and then I'm going to make it a little bit of a, I don't know yet, to be honest with you. I have it written down as a narrower top, but I don't know if that's going to affect anything at all, besides give it a little more forgiveness on the top. But I am definitely going in and changing out each of the pins, key pins, because as you can see, the key pin is rounded on both sides, which gives it a little leeway to make it easier to pick. If it's flat, a nice flat shear line, it will make it a tighter fit, make it harder to get that extra forgiveness. If you accidentally overset it a little bit, these will just kind of slide back down because of the angle. So I don't know if I'm doing that angle on it. I might just keep it standard and then just flatten out that top. Alright, I'll let you know when I do it. Alright, so all I did was got a fresh key pin for it, flatten the top, and then kept the bottom nice and rounded. It's good to keep the bottoms rounded if you're trying to make it harder to pick, because you come in with a rounded hook and it slipping off one side or the other will be a lot easier on something like that than if you get both sides flat and you have a rounded pin. You could really push that up fairly easily. So yeah, just a tip, just round your edges off. This one I didn't too much, but these two I did pretty good on rounding those edges. And this one, since it'll probably be one of the easier chambers, I narrowed it a little bit more here. I am going to try to do counter milling in these three, but with how the shape of this is, I'll try. If it doesn't work, we'll know not to do it on those next time. Alright, now I'm going to just do both these before I make another update. 1 and 2. Both them are going to stay the same height. I'm just going to, of course, flatten the tops, and then I'm just going to put a few serrations in both those. All right. Okay. And so I'm doing pin number 2. So instead of trying to measure it, a little bit easier tip. grab your core, put your key in, and then put it in, whoop, depth perception sucks. Put it in 2. Alright, so you know that's the height you need it at. So with that still on there, I need 2 hands for this, but I'm going to take this and just stick it right at the edge and then put a little mark on it. So then when the dribble turns on, I see a line at where I need to cut off my key pin and it'll be the right height. So we got all of our pins made. The only one that didn't even touch was that one. I'm about to stick them all in the key, make sure that they all look flush. With the shear line, and then we'll go from there. We'll see how it looks, how it feels. Alright, so all my pins fit good. I had to sand down pin 1 a little bit to make it fit smooth in the cylinder. And pin 2 was a little wide when putting it in to the chamber, so I sanded that down a little bit. The rest of them did really well, so that'll be it on my key pin making. And then next video, I guess I will counter mill 1 and 2. I don't think I'm going to do 3 anymore because there's not enough space between the key pin. There might be. I'll have to look into what I have to counter mill something that shallow. But 1 and 2 will do well with it. So I'll counter mill 1 and 2 next video and then put it together, and I'll try to pick it myself before I send it off. Alright. Peace out.